So last week we lost a couple of legends in the wrestling world. First up, of course, Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, one of just the most creative people to ever step foot between those four ring posts there, passed away at a very, very young age. I believe he's 36 years old, which really sucks. Had a pre-existing heart condition that was kind of made worse by COVID and died of a heart attack. So that really, really sucks. And we actually, I got on the phone with our co-host emeritus, Dr. Pat Riley up in Canada, and we talked about Bray Wyatt and this other gentleman I'm going to bring up for about 2 hours. That's over on our Patreon. You can listen to that now. But the other guy that passed away in the wrestling world, Terry Funk, who in this case, this was a triumph, not a tragedy. At 79 years old, which is an old age for a wrestler.
And he just stopped wrestling like 5 years ago.
Straight up.
Oh, shit.
So Terry Funk, his first match was in December of 1965.
Wow.
He wrestled a guy that we actually did an entire episode on. He wrestled Sputnik Monroe in December of 1965. Last in-ring appearance was in 2017. So
attaboy.
Straight up wrestled across 6 fucking decades.
A lot of plates, no dates.
Yeah.
No time for dating.
If you look at his body, there's never a lot of plates for Terry Funk.
No, well, there doesn't need to be.
No, exactly. He didn't. I'm not saying he needed
He
them.
was a straight up crazy person.
Yeah,
and
that's
that
good.
was, and you know, at a time in which people thought this shit was real. When you watch his promos from Memphis in the even like as late as the 80s, you can literally see the audience like taking steps back because they're like, this guy is out of his fucking mind.
Yeah,
there's literally no telling what this guy will do. And my favorite thread, and we've mentioned this when me and Pat talked, but my favorite thread, and I think it's such a good thing to say to somebody, if you're instead of just saying I'm gonna kick your ass, tell him that and then be like, I'm gonna move here. And that was always the threat. Is he's like, Jerry Lawler, I'm gonna move here.
Like, I will be in your neighborhood,
Right.
your grocery
He's
stores.
like,
I'll meet your kids.
I'm
I'll
gonna
fuck
pay
everything
him.
up.
I'm gonna dedicate my life to kicking your ass in the form of getting a mortgage.
That's right. I'm living next door to
I'm
your
gonna
ass.
move here.
Yeah, that's good.
But there was something that we did not bring up because I wanted to save it for the free show, just because it's my favorite Terry Funk thing, aside from, outside of wrestling, besides Roadhouse, which of course.
Oh, the movie Roadhouse?
He's in it. He's legendary.
fucking
He's
A,
also
Roadhouse
in Over
rules.
the Top.
Yeah, Dalton's my middle name, goddammit.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I have a very weird middle name.
How am I just fine?
I know.
Are you named for Roadhouse for real?
No, I'm named because
Okay.
of Dalton, Massachusetts.
Okay.
My grandfather's from.
I was about to lose my fucking mind.
Seth
if you were
Dalton Pomeroy. I should be some sort of fucking
if you were named
tea
for
salesman.
Roadhouse, I would hoist you
No,
on my
I
shoulders
wish.
and carry you out of the room.
I have
That-
the spirit of the Roadhouse inside.
Oh, yeah, I mean, obviously.
That's what I
When-
mean.
Yeah. Pain don't hurt,
Yeah, no,
you
but-
say that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I say it all the fucking time, right? When I kick someone's head clean off their
Yeah,
shoulders.
and then you rip their throat out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I have it in a wild sex scene against a fireplace with my girlfriend.
Yeah, but he's been in several movies, Terry Funk, but he basically went off and did movies so that he could get a SAG pension in his old age.
Hell yeah, smart.
So
move.
he is in Over the Top
I was
as
gonna
well.
say I was like, he's got to be in that genre.
Yeah, so he was buddies with Stallone, and the legend goes that he is the guy who recommended Hulk Hogan to Sylvester Stallone to be Thunder Lips. So
interesting.
good
I bet
argument
that's
to be
true.
made. Pat actually told me this. I did not know this, but good argument to be made that Terry Funk is the reason that Hulkamania became a thing ever. Because that was not on anybody's radar until he was like, hey, there's this gigantic Floridian Italian man that you should get in the ring with in this movie.
Yeah.
But Terry Funk, proprietor of the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, legendary wrestler. He wrestled in 6 decades, as we mentioned, and he worked at various times for basically every territory and then later every promotion. So WWE, ECW, WCW, even Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Fucking A, that's so
he
cool.
never stopped.
He was like, I just want to do this shit forever.
Like we talked about his last match in 2017. It is basically, it's for like big time wrestling. It's for some no name promotion in North Carolina.
Wow.
So he just loved this shit. But
there's some Mark pays legendary wrestlers to retire.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. But I want to talk about Japan, and I want to talk about the 80s. So Terry Funk's first retirement, quote unquote, which that was kind of his thing. And the recurring joke about Terry Funk was he always retired and then he'd come back like a year later.
Sure.
But his famous first retirement was 1983. And that's when he gives the speech that he ends by going, forever. So that happens. But then a year later, he's wrestling in Japan. So for a guy named Giant Baba, he's kind of the Vince McMahon of all Japan pro wrestling. And Terry Funk is fucking huge in Japan.
No shit.
Because at the time, Japanese wrestling, especially in the 80s, was very technical. It was very much about respect and honor and a demonstration of physicality. And now this fucking maniac Texan
character
Yosemite Sam rolls up in Tokyo, and people have never seen anything like this. They're like, who is this guy?
Awesome.
We fucking love him because he's crazy. And so, he's 40 years old at this point. And like I said, he already retired once, but he had managed to get himself over as what they call the number one foreigner, Ichiban Gaijin.
Wow, the number one foreigner. What a fucking title. That's like, what's up, bitch? I can eat here. I'm the number one foreigner.
And that's still a thing in Japan. So right now, Will Ospreay would be considered the Ichiban Gaijin because he's the one of the champions of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Anyway, in Japan, so there's a Japanese rock band. They are called Creation, and one of their albums actually ranked number 62 on Rolling Stone Japan's list of greatest Japanese rock albums of all time. So this band is like pretty big, and they were huge Terry Funk fans. And so they offered to make him his entrance theme, which is called Spinning Toe Hold, and it's fucking awesome.
Whoa.
This is
like King Crimson or something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this was Terry's theme when he came out.
This is like stepdad music.
Dude.
Your stepdad's home.
Oh, buddy, just
Kids got to learn. It's about the rhythm. It's about the rhythm, kids.
I mean, shredding, dude. Like, this just sounds like...
I love it.
It sounds like the Sega Genesis hold music for like a wrestling game, almost. Like you're on the menu screen trying to decide between $1 Million Man and Papa Shango.
yeah.
And this is just what's playing in the background. Like, I mean, goddamn. One of my favorite things ever is like Japanese rock and city pop. It's just the musicianship is stellar, and it's almost Western, but not quite. It's like, you could still
it's
definitely
always a little too clean, a little too precise.
Exactly. But anyway, this is what he used to walk out to the ring to, and people lost their fucking mind.
God damn, he walked down the aisle to that shit.
Hell yeah.
My whole life's going to be different. Let's do this.
I love you so much, baby.
When the song ends, you're like, maybe this was a mistake. I was a little excited.
So Giant Baba, after Terry Funk becomes very successful, he's obviously plugged into the entertainment industry in Japan, and that includes the record industry. And he starts thinking, oh, we've got this very popular wrestler, maybe we should try to capitalize on his success by getting him to make an album.
No.
And
always a mistake for any performer.
So
Bruce Willis, fucking whoever, Kevin Bacon, don't make an album.
The 80s were a terrible time for this genre.
Well, the 80s is also it's also the time in which, and I say this as the child of an estate sale broker, I've gone into so many homes that are filled with vinyl records, and you go through in like the 70s and 80s, it's like there was literally nothing that they wouldn't put on vinyl.
Sure.
Any fucking
it was
thing.
booming, and they were
things that make no fucking sense. They would put SNL episodes on vinyl, and you're like, it's a visual medium. Why? So this definitely falls into that category. But so Giant Baba gets him hooked up with Invitation Records, which is a Japanese subsidiary of RCA Victor, and they decide to make an album. So this is Terry Funk's quote about the album. Quote, I just got very hot over there, and the people love me, so they thought it'd be good to make an album. I can't sing, but they said, oh, no, Terry, you'll be great.
That's his quote.
So he goes in knowing full well that he can't sing, and but they offered him a shit ton of money.
I'd do it.
Yeah, and
We'd all be singing.
So he agreed to it.
Get me in the studio.
Come on, another country? I can fail in another country anytime.
And that's another crucial part. Was the legend goes that he told the people at the record label, he goes, I'm going to do it. I will take your money. This can never be released anywhere besides Japan. This doesn't leave this fucking island.
Get that money.
But Terry failed to know that YouTube was going to be a thing.
Spotify in the future, yes.
It left the island.
Old ass man.
Man, you fucked up, Terry. Thank God you got your money.
So anyway, he agrees to make the record, and he decides to hire the only the only music guy he knows, seemingly the only music guy that any wrestler knows, which is the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
I don't know if I know who that is.
So Jimmy Hart would be best known as the guy who would always come out with Hulk Hogan, and he had a megaphone. He'd go, "Come on, Hulk! Come on, baby! Come on, Hulk, baby!" Like that.
Okay, sure.
Jimmy Hart legitimately was in a band called the Gentrys back in the 60s, and they had a hit. You'll always hear wrestlers go, "Oh, yeah, he had a #1 hit." It was #4 hit, but it was called Keep on Dancing, and he was in that band. And so now he's, I guess in their eyes, a legit musician.
Sure.
So he's involved with all of this wrestling music, and Jimmy Hart is very similar to like a Donny Osmond or any other person that gets very famous when they're really young.
Yeah.
He is mentally stuck at that age. So all of his songs, even though he's in his like 40s at this point, all the songs he writes are about like teenage rebellion. And so
God.
Basically Terry tells Jimmy, he goes, "I want nothing to do with this. I'm just going to pay you. You write the whole thing. You get the music going. I'm going to come in and sing the songs, and that's all I'm going to do for this." And so Jimmy writes, the whole thing. This is from Terry's memoir, More Than Hardcore. Quote, "Jimmy wrote the songs for me because I was too cheap to pay for the rights to songs that people had heard of. And all these songs had one thing in common. They all sucked."
So wait, did they want him to do like a cover album?
What I think is
Lonely the Lonely.
Well, that's the thing, because like at the time, this is really the time karaoke is taking off in Japan, just as a concept,
which is a huge deal.
Yeah, so the idea of a celebrity just showing up and singing popular songs, that's like Ernest Borgnine had a fucking record. You know what I mean?
That
like
rules.
where he just rolls up. The William Shatner famously, "Lucy in the sky with diamonds." That was already an established thing.
Yeah.
But Terry's a wrestler, and wrestlers are the cheapest people of all time. And so he's like, all right, what's an easier way to do this where I don't have to pay as much? It's like, I'll get Jimmy Hart to write it. Then I don't have to pay for the rights to whatever stupid song they wanted to sing.
Totally.
So that's the plan. And he Jimmy Hart wrote the album with a producer and studio guy named Eija Nakahira. And on guitar for this record is a guy named Jun Yamagishi, who you might know from the TV show Treme. He was this incredibly successful guitar player in Japan, and then in the mid-90s just basically was like, I want to go to America and learn the real blues. And he still to this day lives in New Orleans and plays in like half a dozen great bands down there. So he's on this record. And I got to say, going into it, like, the band kicks fucking ass. Like, the music is...
You got nothing to lose.
Tremendous. Because, Japan, this is the height of city pop. This is the height of J-rock. Japan is crawling with incredible studio musicians who also are all super into wrestling, because that's a big sport over there. So they're like, fuck yeah, I'll play bass on Terry Funk's record.
Yeah, no shit.
After the session was over, by the way, the record company gave Terry a guitar, and he, as he was leaving Japan, got caught at customs with the guitar, and he had a bottle of prescription pain pills, and they were actually his prescription, but they saw the guitar, and they just assumed he was like a drugged out rock star.
Some Paul McCartney character.
Bingo. Well, Paul McCartney that had happened like 4 years earlier. Yeah. And so, they pulled him over. And according to Terry, he got a full cavity search because of this guitar.
Whoa.
So he's still like mad about he's like embarrassed by it. And he's like, and they looked at my butthole because of my guitar.
He's like, I can't even play the fucking guitar.
Yeah, you can't.
It's a fucking gift.
Yeah. So, so the album itself is called Great Texan. And,
hell yeah.
And I'm going to show you what this album cover looks like. And you just tell me what you believe the music would sound like based on this album cover. Then I'll put this up on Twitter so people can see it. There's the album cover. Terry looking fucking resplendent.
Oh, yeah.
With a satin jacket and tipping his cowboy hat. And he's got the guitar, presumably the guitar that got him the cavity search.
I just want to point out that the Japanese paper they put on the side is covered up half the word. It just says Eat Texan.
Eat Texan. Yeah, that's right.
It's a better name for an album. Eat Texan. And it's just a New York strip on a fucking rock sizzling.
It looks like it's going to be some country blues, rock,
country,
fusion between rock and blues.
Toby Keith-ish.
Yeah. So
a Morgan Wallen type character.
Okay, well, yeah. Let's take a listen to the first track. It
is the 80s.
This is great. This is Great Texan.
Unpredictable. It's horny horn music.
Yeah, dude. It's funk.
Oh my!
The man is named Terry Funk, and they are delivering.
This sort of rules, though.
Yeah, I know.
If someone was driving and blaring this out of their car, you'd be like, they're having fun.
Also, he's got
Oh, yeah.
They're bringing on. He's got a ring announcer bringing him on.
Every record should start that way for this dude.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This is like the Playboy Channel made a fucking album. Like, what the fuck? They're like, it's for everyone, is it? It sounds.
Here.
You'll fight them every day.
There's Jimmy Hart.
That's him?
That's Jimmy Hart.
You'll fight them anywhere.
Wow. Just sort of
He's
talking.
gonna beat them all the time.
Is he talking to himself in third person?
That's Terry.
Sounds like a hacky alt-comedy comedy song.
It sounds like a bad Weird Al demo.
It's like Andrew Dice Clay's intro at Madison Square Garden or something.
Okay, here we go. Chorus.
That's, yeah.
He's Terry. And he's like, yes, indeed, I am.
Yeah.
Like, what is this song?
I'm just here for a paycheck, folks.
Standing right here. I'm Terry. Hello.
But yeah,
Wow, that's hilarious.
Is he featured on this at all?
right here.
People
Get
think I'm so mean. My heart is soft and sweet.
Aw.
But I'm still a fighting machine.
Wow, no energy at all.
It's like he's never even heard singing before.
At all.
Yeah.
And people have pointed out the similarity in the timbre of his voice to Hank Hill does make the thing
That's
even
very funny.
funnier.
I found $12 in the pocket of my jacket.
Yeah.
You're like, what is this singing? What is this song about?
Oh man, yeah.
my boots are covered in dust.
Is this the best song off the album?
Oh heavens no. We're working up to the best song. But yeah, no, I made the note. It sounds like Boney M. If anybody knows the song Rasputin or
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, I know
Daddy
that.
Cool. Yeah, it's kind of that like it's almost like Euro trash,
Yeah,
like kind
weird.
of funk.
Yeah.
This would
Italo
make
disco.
the Ohio
Dance club.
players vomit.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who actually knew Terry Funk was like, fuck this.
But no, I wanted to get into
rules.
there's a track on here that is just deeply strange called Barbara Streisand's Nose.
Yeah, I love when it's like concept songs. We
Yeah,
got to fill out this record.
So the
Hulk goes to heaven. Barbara Streisand has a nose.
man,
whatever
the whole Hulkster in heaven's amazing.
Yeah, that rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
This is a straight up Jimmy Hart jam because one of the things Jimmy Hart was known to be very good at was taking an existing song and changing it just enough so he wouldn't get
The
sued.
Beatles would do this too, but they would never tell anyone they were doing it.
Right,
They
right.
sort of admitted it in the 80s here and there, but
Yeah, well, like the best example being Diamond Dallas Page's entrance theme song is Smells Like Teen Spirit, just the last two chords are flipped.
amazing. Self high five.
It's straight up the
The
same
fact
fucking
that someone
song.
could do that with a clear conscience is incredible.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
so,
Stairway to Hell. It's not it's fucking opposite direction, I guess.
but yeah, I want you to tell me if you can tell me what, and we're going to talk about the lyrics because they're fucking crazy. But yeah, I did want to play you this, and just tell me if you recognize this tune at all. It's going to be pretty hard. And again, keep in mind the year we're talking about.
Yeah.
So 1984.
Wow. Oh my fucking god, that's a shameless.
So it's Beat It, but then listen to the way he sings this song.
I was listening to my radio.
It's Monster Mash meets Beat It.
I'm Grandpa Dracula walking to the room.
dude.
He said, "Hey, young Dracula, we have to go to a party." Oh my god.
Damn. I know it's not online, but I wish we could find the sales numbers. For
Oh,
this.
did
I know.
And well, probably half of it went to like the Yakuza or some shit.
He probably got a great payment up front and was like, "I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Just send
no.
it to my house."
100%.
Well, I just wonder
I'd like
if
to not
anyone
know.
was actually a big enough funk
Like,
fan where they're like,
yeah.
I need this album.
Yeah, like the Japanese fans like go like, "This rules" because it's a different language anyways, and they like that. he's talking.
If I
Like, you know
had
what I mean? Like,
if I had to guess, because what happens with a lot of these things is the wrestlers would sell them at shows, so it's not like they would have a
course.
chance to like listen to it or know what the fuck it is.
Wasn't
They
on the
would-
radio or
They would just come in and be like, "Oh, it's a Terry Funk album. I'll buy that." You know,
Totally,
so
totally.
whatever. But yeah, I mean,
it's like Serge Gainsbourg to me.
Yeah.
like it's like a French guy going. "Du-du-du-du-du."
Right,
Like,
right.
that's impressive to me.
Yeah.
Maybe someone loves this.
But the
What if Weird Al ripped this off?
He was like, I get it. You take regular songs and twist them just a little bit. Yeah, but with the lyrics.
the lyrics to this are really confusing, where he says, she had Brooke Shields' hair. You should have been there. Boy, I was surprised. Bo Derek's hips and Mick Jagger's lips and Farrah Fawcett's eyes.
Whoa.
Dolly Parton's chest. You know that's the best. And Herschel Walker's thighs.
Whoa. Some fan better fucking Photoshop this and send it to Rivers immediately. I want to see that construction of human. I want to see what woman he's talking about.
It says she had Barbara Streisand's nose, Liberace's smile that drives men wild, and
there you
Barbara Streisand's nose.
Wow.
It's like a very confusing
And
song.
to the tune of
Beat It with the cadence of Monster
Confusing.
Mash.
This guy just loves beauty.
That's
this
right.
guy
Look.
just loves everything he thinks is beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.
He can-
Thighs and hips of legendary players.
Yeah. He will love all of you, but he'll find a very specific thing to illuminate and look for another person.
Yeah, like,
That's the beautiful thing about this guy.
but yeah, towards the end, Terry Funk starts just kind of freestyling on this end.
Guitar solo's pretty ripping.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was nice. Barbara Streisand's nose. It is fucking Monster Mash. And then wild. Oh.
The original song apparently was Lance Russell's nose, who was the announcer for Memphis Wrestling. So Jimmy Hart wrote it as that, and then he got to Japan and was like, let's just change it to something that people will know.
They
'Cause
probably know Barbara Streisand.
people in Japan won't know Lance Russell, but they'll know Barbara Streisand. But anyway.
That rules. That's good shit.
Yeah.
I like it better than that. What was the other song called? Beat It?
Yeah, fuck Beat It,
I
dude.
don't like that at all. That's good music.
Well, there's two
I
others.
hate when they sing. I kind of like when they just talk.
Yeah, just talk on top of an awesome guitar riff. That's all I want.
Yeah, there's two others I wanted to mention. With the last one, of course, being my favorite and a song that we have spoken about on the show in the past. But this is again, Terry Funk is 40 years old at the time of this recording.
My age.
And if you're going to write a song, obviously you're going to write a song called "We Hate School."
Yeah. At this point, I have to look back at my youth and say, no, we hate school.
I have
We hate it.
PTSD from school still.
I read a whole concept album about We Hate School.
Well, that's what this track is called. This is "We Hate School."
Ooh, I like that. Oh, this is like Dropkick Murphys. Departed, dude. Oh, yeah.
Don't like my music, but you don't like my clothes.
Whoa, he's rapping.
Your nose with the rubber hose.
Fuck I wear, ho, you bitch ass.
Because we hate school, but we love rock and roll.
Oh,
Okay, so
Damn.
first
we hate school, but we love rock and roll.
Yeah.
I'm 100 years old.
First line is he says, "My teacher don't like my music and she don't like my clothes. Up your nose with a rubber hose."
Damn, welcome to that Carter reference.
Right, yeah, and I want to point out, Welcome Back Cotter has been on the air now for like 6-7 years, so that's got to be pretty outdated.
Oh my God.
And then he says, "I'd like to shove her where the sun don't go."
Damn.
I was like make her
Yeah, it doesn't.
what?
Kick someone in the balls is what that phrase is
Right.
going for. So I don't, you can't shove her where your balls go. I mean, I guess you can, but
I
that's
shove
not.
my teacher up my own ass.
Yeah, like, I'm going to make her disappear into my ass.
That's how much I hate school.
That's how much I hate school. She didn't understand my clothes. Well, yeah, this is as good as The Wall. Certain parts of The Wall sound like
so
this.
funny.
When I come home, I turn my radio on.
My mom also
My DJ's
sucks.
playing my favorite song.
Yeah.
My mother yells, "Get off the phone."
I knew it.
Have you done your homework? Is that radio on?
Homework.
Have you done your
40
homework?
years
Is that radio?
old.
I'm a 40-year-old man in Japan.
You couldn't figure out how to make phone rhyme with on.
yeah.
But it's right there. You could have just changed it slightly.
It's, yeah. He's like, I read the lyric sheet, man. I'm not worried about it.
Oh, this is one take, City.
Yeah, no shit. That is funny thing about it. It definitely is all one take, right?
Oh, yeah.
For him, I mean, they're probably rehearsing and
Yeah, no, the band has worked on this
Yeah.
forever so that he can just
Ages.
walk in and
Wow.
fucking do one take and get the hell out of there.
2 hours in the vocal booth and go
Yeah.
home forever.
But there is one song on here that is so fucking good that I think that they could take this sample and do something with it today. And that is, of course, the slow jam. So do y'all know what Roppongi is?
No.
So
Oh yeah, definitely. Fucking
You ever smoke Roppongi? Oh man. You gotta-
dude.
after this, dude, we're smoking Roppongi.
So Roppongi is kind of the sleazy district of Tokyo where they have lots of strip clubs and lots of bars, and specifically it's where American expats go. And so all the wrestlers who go
STDs.
I already know. It's where creepy
Porn.
white guys
Yeah.
go to bang Japanese girls.
yes. And,
Lose your innocence on these streets, boys. It's the American way.
and all these wrestlers who would go over to Japan in the 80s, that's where they would hang out. And to this day, there's actually a tag team. I don't know if they're still around. I feel like they maybe got back together not that long ago. They're called Roppongi Vice, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of their personas. They're like
Fucking A.
shithead Americans that hang out in Roppongi, you know?
Grand Theft Auto City.
Yes. Yeah. Straight up.
Liberty City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to it.
Yeah. So there is a track on this album. It's track 6, and it's called Roppongi.
Oh, that's nice. He's trying to appeal to the locals.
Yeah.
He was like,
He's with their culture.
I've been in Japan. I go down to the horse street all the time. I wrote a whole song about it. I know about your life.
But yeah, this song, legitimately, I love this song. Easily his best vocal performance, which is to say he's
Yeah.
barely trying.
Yeah. Talk singing works great when you slow it down.
Yeah, well, I'm
But-
sure he has a passion about this subject
Yeah.
that he didn't have for the others.
But it's
Yeah,
but
a
it's
life
also
experience.
it's not like the other songs. It's pretty mournful, and it's just about like regret and just being filled with emptiness.
Damn.
But sung by a guy who kind of sounds like Hank Hill.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's listen. This is my favorite track on the record, Roppongi by Terry Funk.
Oh my God. Get it going.
So
This is some Playboy Channel
This-
music right here.
no, this is vaporwave.
Yeah,
This is what
right.
those vaporwave
Totally.
motherfuckers, when they think they're listening to mall music from the
Yeah.
80s, this is the platonic ideal of
I mean,
vaporwave.
yeah, this is so cool.
And then
Playing in the club in Roppongi.
The double track
All
vocals
my troubles away.
trailing behind the lead vocal.
Playing every song on the jukebox.
Willie Nelson.
The people want me to play.
What do people want me to
Watching all the ladies go dancing. See the gold rings on their hands.
this thing.
Oh, yeah, all right.
While they're dancing, they are really romancing. 'Cause you know they want to be with their man.
What? What?
They're really romantic.
In American cigarettes,
Oh, finally something
drinking
to
hot
rejoice.
sake, but I still can't forget all of the times that I should have said I love you. Now, this solo is so good right here. The sax guy is like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going crazy.
Oh, weird. Oh! Night court's open, baby. Okay, we're taking cases.
Judge Sexy presiding.
Ooh, SNL, Newcastle SNL.
Fuck you, G.E. Smith.
If I can let them know. Dana Carvey.
Yeah, Mike Myers. And he keeps going. That's the best part.
Oh yeah, he's like,
He's
they're
like,
like, just do it. I don't want to sing.
I
You just
don't
go
give a
play
shit."
more of that.
I like you, young man. Just go fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, in the studio, they had to have been thinking, like, how do we get him on this song
Yeah.
the least amount that
Yeah,
we
of
could
course.
possibly get him on?
Saxophone player was like, I can rip this shit whenever you need me to.
Yeah. So, then back to the chorus.
Cigarettes. Eating a
hot
cheeseburger in bed. I love lyrics like this. It's just like any idiot could just fucking spit out some words.
Yeah.
Like a 12-year-old could have wrote this exact song.
No, well, like I said, Jimmy Hart got famous when he was very young.
Well, there you
so
go. He was a
essentially
12-year-old.
A 12-year-old
Smoking American cigarettes. When I smoked cigarettes, no one talked like that. It was way cooler.
Man. So,
Oh, hey, can I bum an American cigarette? No, not an American spirit. Just any cigarette from America.
yeah.
Let's have a cigarette. boy. Like, wow, this is like I'm going to join the army.
Man. So, man,
That rolls.
cult classic. And I
Respect for the dead.
I legit had to,
Yeah. You're the worst singer in the fucking world.
You kicked ass at wrestling, bro. But singing.
But let's talk about something you sucked dick in.
No. He did not. No, I will
That's
argue.
all I want to be remembered.
No, I will argue he did not suck at this. He absolutely came into it knowing his capabilities full well.
Oh, he handled it like a genius.
Absolutely
Yeah.
being like,
He did the
this
right
is
thing.
funny. I don't want my friends or family to know this exists. And he took all those precautions. And
How do I come in way under budget and pocket the rest? Just like like a fucking pro musician does.
Exactly.
This is a rousing success.
Yeah,
It doesn't,
yeah.
and it sounds good on top of that.
It's fucking good shit.
His voice is not the greatest, but he never said it was. They came to him. It's
Yeah.
like this is one of those great things about, and it's it's why I always say like the best thing I've ever heard is that line in Ghostbusters where someone says, "Ray, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes," and that is exactly the way I kind of think about any like weird opportunity I've gotten where if I have a moment's doubt, I'll always think back to that because it's like, hey, guess what? If you hire me and I suck at this, you know whose fault that is?
Totally.
Fucking yours, not mine.
Totally.
And so in this case, this is an utter success of that philosophy where they came to him and like, Terry, do you want to do this? He's like, I can't sing. And like, we don't care. He's like, all right, if you don't care, I don't fucking care. And they managed to put out
awesome.
pretty fucking good stuff.
This is what we lost.
That was
Anyway.
not pretty good. Let's be honest.
No, Rapongi's good. The rest of it's,
Mediocre to bad.
Take the vocals off and I give
dude.
the sax some
Well,
props.
and you're in luck because the last track, in order to fill
just
some
instrumental?
space, it's just the first track but with no vocals.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't put that intro where they're like, goodbye. You know, like he was here and he left.
the
Like,
world champion.
Yeah, the
Terry Funk.
began that way. Why not end it?
Yeah. So anyway, R.I.P. to the proprietor of the Double Cross Ranch, Terry
Damn.
motherfucking Funk. Rest in peace, brother. You are one of the greatest. And
Props.
and check out that episode. Me and Pat talked Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt for like 2 hours. It was fun as hell. And Pat obviously he's a funk scholar. He went to Funk U, and
Bootsy Collins was his teacher. No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a different kind of funk.
oh man, well yeah. Shout out to Terry. R.I.P.